Hey everyone, this is Andrew Black Swordsman, and you're watching the BlizzCon 2014 wrap-up video. If you aren't a Blizzard fan, or if you aren't a fan of hearing me rant about nonsense, then I advise you to run far away from this video, because there is a lot about Blizzard and a lot of me ranting. So this was actually my very first time going to BlizzCon. I went to BlizzCon because I've been a World of Warcraft addict since 2006. I've sort of been playing off and on with my friends that I went to high school with. I've always wanted to go to this con, and I finally decided to just go ahead and do it. So let me just give you a brief overview of World of Warcraft's two factions. When you play the game, you can choose between two factions. There's the Alliance and there's the Horde. On the Alliance side, they have the prettier races, while the Horde side has the more monstrous-looking races. I like playing as humans, so naturally I played on the Alliance side. Stereotypically, they say only little kids, noobs, and people that are terrible at gaming play on the Alliance side, while the Horde side has more organized and smarter and more mature players. So at the con, I was expecting to get a little bit of hate for being an Alliance player. Obviously, I really like to cosplay as Kirito, but I was a little bit afraid of being an anime character at a Blizzard convention. So my workaround was bringing an Alliance cape. So all weekend, I wore that blue cape around my back, and it had the symbol of the Alliance on it. So day one was really cool. I woke up at 4:30 a.m., and I ended up leaving by 5:30 a.m. Since I have a premium Disneyland annual pass, I get free parking in the Disneyland parking lots. Disneyland just so happens to be across the street from the Anaheim Convention Center, where BlizzCon was. So I parked in the Toy Story parking lot for no charge. After that, I just walked across the street, and I was at BlizzCon. So I brought close to about 100 cosplay cards, and I was thinking that that was way too much for this con. I thought maybe about 5 people would recognize who I was, and maybe the rest would be haters because I'm obviously not a character in World of Warcraft or in the Blizzard universe at all. But before I made it to the convention center, people were already asking for pictures, so that got me really excited. I was like, oh cool, so maybe I won't be hated on the entire weekend. As for the cosplay scene, I was a bit disappointed with BlizzCon. Most of the people there weren't cosplaying, but where they lacked in quantity, they made up for in quality. All the people there that actually did cosplay were really amazing. A lot of the cosplays there had a lot of great detail on it, and a lot of them were wearing armor, and they all looked really amazing. It was pretty cool. Also, most of the people there were really cool. When I was waiting in line, I talked to a lot of random people, made a lot of new friends, and we just talked about everything from anime to video games to Blizzard to just food and whatever else. This is the part where I nerd out about WoW. I actually haven't played a lot of WoW these last couple of years because I wasn't too impressed with the last expansion. But when I did play WoW, I was more of a PvP player than a PvE guy. I was never amazing, especially not as good as Kirito by any means. But when I saw that they'd be having a WoW arena tournament, I was really stoked. I didn't realize how seriously they took esports over there. It was really cool watching a WoW arena match being commentated as if it were an actual sport. My favorite team had actually flown in from Korea. They were called Push Push, and they brought a translator with them. It was really cool. I was rooting for them the whole time, and they got so close to making it to the finals, but they lost in the semifinals, so I was really bummed. But either way, it was really, really cool. The most interesting thing about this was, since a lot happens in WoW, the commentator has to talk really, really fast, and I can't even imitate what he did because the commentator was totally on top of things. As the match was going on, he was talking super fast.
What do they have the gas? Can they call it up like
My friends and I oftentimes couldn't follow what exactly was going on. So what we did was we just watched the health bars, and when someone was near death, everyone would start yelling, so we'd yell too. And when someone finally got a kill, we all went crazy. It was pretty amazing. So I actually wasn't the only non-Blizzard cosplayer to be there. When I was walking around, I ran into some dude that was cosplaying as Deadpool. That shouldn't be a surprise though, because I've heard that Deadpool likes to appear at pretty much every con. When he saw me, he was so excited to find someone else that wasn't in a Blizzard cosplay. Since I was curious, I asked if he had received a lot of hate for being a non-Blizzard cosplayer. He said yeah, and apparently cussed them out and gave him the finger. I guess that's one way of approaching it. After that, a girl approached Deadpool and I and started to talk to us about SAO2. She was really negative, and honestly, I thought it was really funny. She really was not in a good mood at all. She wasn't exactly mean though, you know, she just seemed a little upset. She started asking if I liked SAO2, and I of course told her that I did. After that, she sort of cut me off and started to talk about how much she hated the Caliber arc. She said that it reminded her of the Fairy Dance arc, which she really did not like, and she said that the whole series just went downhill after the whole Death Gun Phantom Bullet arc. What was funny was, after she finished talking, the Deadpool said, yeah, that sounds pretty cool, but I think I'll wait for the English dub. Hearing that sent her on a mini rampage. Not even exaggerating, this is what she did. Oh my god, I can't stand English dubs! I hate it! Okay, I milked it a little bit. But she was passionate about her disdain towards English dubbed anime. Day 2 was pretty amazing as well, but something bad happened that day. I was getting a lot of pictures taken, and in each picture I'd take off my bag because I thought that looked kinda lame in a photo, right? I stupidly left my bag laying around somewhere, and about a couple hours later, I was sitting down waiting for an arena match to start, and I was like, where's my backpack? You see, that wouldn't be that big of a deal if I just had food and water in it. But I had my badge in there, I had my 3DS, and I had an iPad. At that point, I was like, well, there's no way I'll get that back. I mean, whoever gets that can make so much money off of whatever's in there, so I was pretty bummed. My friend went off to the Lost and Found, and he ended up finding it. Everything was there, so faith in humanity restored. Made me appreciate Blizzcon a bit more. So the con was pretty dimly lit, but there were a couple giant spotlights, and since I was having a lot of pictures taken, I was just standing underneath the spotlight, and whenever there'd be no photographers, I would just stand there and watch an arena match. Like I said earlier, I honestly didn't expect a good reception. I thought people might hate on me for the cosplay, but about 95% of the people that talked to me were praising me and saying that they really liked the cosplay, so it was a lot of fun. It was really, really cool meeting people, and I ran out of cosplay cards within like the first 3 hours of day 1. I should have brought more. While I did get a lot of praise for the cosplay, I did get a lot of other interesting reactions, so I'm about to imitate them. Wrong game, bro. Why are you here? This isn't Comic-Con. Where's Asuna? Who let a beater like you into this con? Block Horizon's better! Oh, that's cool to know that Kirito plays for the Alliance. And that's pretty cool, but he's on the Alliance, he's on the wrong side. Whoa, where do you get that gear set? And wow, that is cool. I really enjoyed the con, and at the closing ceremony, a band called Metallica played, so that was pretty amazing. I never thought I'd ever see Metallica, but I was really shocked when they announced that Metallica was playing. Unlike most cons that are 3 days, this con was actually 2 days long, and in the evening, after both days, I ate at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I have no regrets. That place is so freaking good. You know, it's funny when you watch these videos, I think I go crazier over the food than I do about the actual con, so you see where my priorities are, right? Also, who would have thought that fried chicken and waffles would go really well together? I didn't think so. I thought that was weird, but it's not weird. And if you do think it's weird, then you haven't tried it. I also learned not to judge a book by its cover. When I was at Roscoe's, the busboy was cleaning up our plates, and he didn't look like the nerdy type at all. And he asked, hey, were you guys cosplaying? I said, yeah, I did. I wasn't wearing my cosplay, I actually had this draped over an empty chair next to me. And he asked, so who did you cosplay as? I said, oh, well, it's just a character from one of my favorite shows. Once again, he didn't look nerdy at all, so I assumed he was just being nice and maybe trying to start a little conversation. But he said, no, wait, don't tell me. Sword Art Online. And before I could say anything, he said, oh, I could tell because I saw those swords, and he ended up just geeking out with me. He ended up telling me that he was in Japan a couple months ago and how he had just finished watching SAO at the time, so he just wanted to buy everything SAO that he saw over there. And we ended up talking about Anime Expo, and it was great. It was a really great way to end my weekend. Blizzcon took place on Friday and Saturday, but since I was in the area, on Sunday I decided to go to Disneyland. So after Sunday was over, I was exhausted driving home, and I still don't think I've recovered from that weekend. Especially since Kamikaze was last weekend, I'm really tired. Thank you for watching this video. Tell me about what you thought of this video in the comments below. Thank you.